After Geometry Dash released its latest big update 2.2, this almost took 7 years by the way, the level editor has become what was just used to create levels, some of them using the same style to create the game Raptor to a literal game engine. So today, using the level editor, I'm gonna recreate a game called Minesweeper. If you don't know what the game is, the goal is basically to reveal a bunch of squares with a bit of them containing these things called mines. Once you reveal one of those, the game ends. So the goal is to simply reveal all of the squares that don't have mines under them. And you have these things called indicators that are usually in a numeric form that tells you how many mines are around a particular square. It's basically a game of strategy and luck, since it's possible to lose upon revealing your first or second square. You also have markers you can place wherever you think a mine could be and tell you how many mines there are in the game. This actually took me a while to create, and I really appreciate if you watch till the end. So with all that being said, let's get right into it. Okay guys, so how we're gonna do this, just kidding, I know exactly what to do, I think. I know what some of you may be thinking. Geometry Dash is just a game that has only one button, and all that one button does is to jump and do some other things. There's a 2-player mode option that gives us 2 buttons. And we also have a platformer mode option which gives us 3. So those 2 things combined give us a whole 6 buttons to work with, which is actually more than enough. Just use 4 of them for navigation, 1 of them to place an indication, and the last one to check for mines. And okay, so these are the buttons right here. So first of all, we're just gonna get rid of the second player. Now we've gotten rid of the second player, so now we can get to business. Before you head over to that, I just want to tell you that if you're enjoying the video and haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you should probably do so now. I promise you to be completely worth it, and you can always change your mind. So for this version of the game, I'm working on creating a 10 by 10 board, if that works. So I think I'm just gonna place individual rooms like so. This so we can place different triggers here. We're gonna have about 100 of these to start with. And just like that, we're gonna have 100 different rooms. Man, this is gonna take a while. So the next thing we'll be working with is the navigation, of course, and we're gonna do that using teleport triggers. I can just select maybe this entire room and give it a group. And you know what, I'm thinking I should have actually made this thing smaller. What do you guys think? Oh, I think I can widen the triggers, so I think we can be fine. So just give that group of 2, since we might use 1 eventually. Okay, so we're giving this 4 groups, so I guess we can work on the navigation now. First off, we're gonna start off with an event trigger. And yeah, I'm thinking of making use of the player 1 controls to move left and right, and the player 2 controls to move up and down. So yeah, I think we can start with right and left for now. I'm just gonna use release for reasons I can explain right now. So yeah, this is gonna activate group 200. Now we can place a teleport trigger right here. Let's just give that 200 and make that spawn trigger. So yeah, meaning if I enter that right now, okay. So meaning if I enter that right now, okay, so meaning it should work right now. Oh yes, it just did. I guess we can use this navigation mechanic for the other boxes. This will actually take a while. So guys, I have successfully created the navigation. This thing took me a really long time, and there are a bit of bugs actually, but I'll have those fixed later. So I guess we can move on to the fun parts of the UI. Oh, did I say fun? I meant less brutal. Okay, so I think we can just start off with a simple shape here and just make use of warp to make that extremely big. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what we need. I think we should make use of purple or something. Just shades of purple for the UI. I think that could work. I think next, let's just work on the squares I talked about in the game. We can work on placing those squares now. I'm planning of doing a checker design for this. I could just make this a different color, maybe something darker. Something like this should work. So we're basically gonna make 100 of these, since that's what we're working with. Okay, so I think we're done. So I think we should also figure out where the mines are gonna be. So we can just select random places like this. I think we can work with 8 mines, I guess, since this is a small board. Just place spikes randomly. I think that's 8 if I can count. When you head over to where the mines are in the navigation, I think we're just gonna make use of a toggle orb to detect that action. When you basically click on the toggle orb, yeah, the game ends. Okay, so I think we should work on how it will look like when the squares are revealed. I think we should just make this cyan perhaps. Yeah, I think that will work. Just copy this. So for the mines, I wonder what texture I should use. Yeah, I think I just thought of something fire. I think we should make use of these things over here. That seems to be a pretty good idea. We've got our mines over here. Damn, this looks silly. And next we should work on the indicators, which are usually numbers. So we've got our numbers now, so I guess we're done with the UI. We also need to use something as a marker, so that the player will be able to place where they possibly think a mine could be. So I think we should just use something completely random just to make things funny. So I guess we're done with our UI. I thought it would take longer than that, but yeah. And the next thing we have to do is to get the toggle orbs to start working. You click on them, it either reviews a mine or just opens these boxes over here. Meaning we'll have to give each of these boxes an individual group. I did everything else off camera, so I'll tell you everything I did. There were a few bugs with the navigation that would take me a long time to fix, so I had to rework on whatever I should call this. Then I basically worked on the big deal, how the squares and mines are going to be revealed, which was actually not that hard. I just made use of toggle orbs and they worked really well. And it didn't take too long thanks to one of the best creating features called build helper. What this does is basically automatically give a new set of triggers and your targets a new group to work with, without having to replace them one by one. But I'll be honest, the game isn't completely finished yet because of the amount of bugs I have to fix, but I would have worked on those a couple of days upon uploading this video. The last thing I did was work on the camera settings and this turned out pretty good actually. So after a few thousand objects placed, here is the final result.